American Tail. This is the second installment in my Don Blue series of reviews. And this one's a very interesting movie. I love this movie. Not more than Secret and Nim. I think it has a little bit hurting it, but it is a very unique movie. And really, the title of this movie says a lot about what this movie is: American Tail. And American Tail is spelled with tail like is in mouse, but it's still an American tale, if you get what I mean. And so this movie was actually part of Don Bluth's team up with Spielberg, and I think this is the best area where Don Bluth should have stayed. He should have continued making films with this and Land Before Time, but unfortunately he didn't. And we'll talk about that when we get to that, But it allowed these movies to really have a big deal. I mean, American Tail, like Fievel had a whole thing at Universal Studios. He had lots of merchandise. There were sequels, things like that. Where everything else he made kind of really didn't, other than American Tail and Secret, or not American Tail. All Dogs Go to Heaven, and a couple other ones, but still, I really enjoyed this movie revisiting it as an adult because you really realize what the satire here is. When you're a kid, I watched this movie and they're like singing out "No cats in America." It's like a goofy song. You're like, that's stupid. Like, why would these damn mice think that there's no cats in America? It's a satire of the American dream, basically. This movie is about the American dream and immigrating to America, and there's a lot of political humor in the movie and a lot of satire of the American dream and things like that, while also, actually being truthful about the reality of the American dream, especially at this time period that this movie was set. I think it was set in the 1940s, if I'm remembering right. I forget the exact time period. And so a lot of that's great, and there's a lot of heart and effort being put into this movie because of that. And the animation, of course, is gorgeous. And yeah, just a lot of that really clever, subtle writing makes this movie really enjoyable. But it's also really enjoyable to a kid because this movie is, about a kid trying to find his family, which is a very relatable concept. You know, kids get lost, and things like that. So there's a lot of fun effort and ideas put into that. I really enjoy all that stuff. It's just a very clever movie all around. That's so well crafted and put together. I think my only issue with this movie is just I some of the musical numbers are fine, but it like the main problem is you're still like, all right, like why is this kid singing? Because he can't sing. Even in The Lion King, they didn't have Simba's voice actor be the same one who was singing because he couldn't sing. And that's fine, but here they don't do that, and the poor kid keeps singing out of his range. He just either they need to either just give him someone else to sing his parts, or just have a vocal coach because he really shouldn't. He's like singing out of his range, and it just sounds not great. I mean, even the best songs in the movie, like Somewhere Out There, just sounds kind of like bad because he's singing like that. And that's why there's some of the covers of that song are more popular than the original version of the song, because the original version of the song is not great, and but it has all the pieces to make a great song, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I really like this movie, and I think it's an incredible movie and shows kind of the more promising aspects of Don Bluth's career, animation wise, filmmaking wise, and what he can present and what he can do. Of course, Secret and Nim did that better, but this was still continuing on the promise that movie gave us into this film. And his next film, Land Before Time, will also continue into that. But we'll talk about that when we get to that. But what a great movie.